A lone drone appeared on the horizon, closing in fast on a U.S. Navy destroyer near Yemen. The crew of an MH-60 Romeo helicopter had only 18 seconds to react as the threat targeted a billion-dollar warship. In those critical moments, the door gunner responded with precise controlled fire, obliterating the drone before it could inflict damage. This engagement was more than a split-second decision. It marked the first confirmed air-to-air kill by a U.S. Navy helicopter, setting a precedent in modern naval warfare. As technology reshapes conflict zones, the waters off Yemen now stand at the forefront of evolving military challenges. Naval commanders operating near Yemen now face a landscape transformed by new threats and shifting tactics. The coastline, once defined by conventional maritime patrols and established rules of engagement, is now a proving ground for the future of naval defense. The area's strategic value is clear. It serves as a critical gateway for international shipping, and any disruption here has immediate consequences for global commerce and security. This reality makes maintaining control of these waters a top priority for military planners. Yet the challenge confronting naval forces in this region is no longer limited to traditional adversaries. The Houthi movement has introduced a new dimension to the conflict by fielding low-cost, commercially sourced drones capable of striking high-value targets. These drones, often launched from concealed or remote locations, exploit gaps in established defensive systems. Their small size and erratic flight profiles make them difficult to detect on standard shipboard radars, which are typically calibrated for larger threats. Even advanced warships can struggle to respond effectively, especially when the window for action is measured in seconds, not minutes. This shift toward asymmetric warfare is not just a matter of new hardware. It's a tactical evolution that forces well-equipped navies to rethink their approach. For the Houthis, the appeal is obvious. A drone costing a fraction of a guided missile destroyer's price can threaten or even damage billion-dollar warships. The imbalance in cost and risk gives insurgent forces a strategic edge, allowing them to impose significant costs and uncertainty on their opponents. The psychological effect is just as important. The knowledge that any vessel could be targeted at any time adds a layer of persistent tension to every patrol. Naval defenses have had to adapt quickly in response. Early efforts relied on existing close-in weapon systems and radar-guided guns, but these were designed for conventional threats and often struggled against drones with small radar cross-sections. For instance, the AN/APS-153 radar on the MH-60 Romeo can detect objects with a cross-section as small as 0.1 square meters. But many shipboard sensors are less capable, allowing drones to approach undetected until it is almost too late. This vulnerability has prompted a reevaluation of sensor suites and engagement protocols across the fleet. U.S. Navy crews operating in these waters have reported encounters with multiple drone types, sometimes in rapid succession. Some of these drones, believed to be probable SAMO-D3 variants, required manual intervention and rapid adaptation by defenders. The unpredictability and variety of drone threats have exposed gaps in traditional automated defense systems, highlighting the need for flexibility and rapid response. In these scenarios, the time from detection to engagement can be measured in seconds, and any delay can mean the difference between neutralizing a threat and suffering a costly attack. The cost dynamics further complicate the equation. While a drone may represent only a modest investment for its operators, defending against it often requires the deployment of expensive munitions or the redirection of critical assets. The disproportionate resource allocation demanded by these encounters is precisely what makes drones so effective in asymmetric warfare. They force conventional militaries to expend outsized effort and resources to counter a relatively minor threat, shifting the balance of power in favor of the attacker. Against this backdrop, the role of naval helicopters has become increasingly significant. Traditionally used for anti-submarine warfare, surveillance, and logistics, platforms like the MH-60 Romeo are now tasked with direct counter-drone operations. Their speed, maneuverability, and advanced sensor packages allow them to intercept and engage aerial threats that might otherwise slip past shipboard defenses. The ability to project force beyond the immediate perimeter of a warship extends the defensive envelope and provides commanders with a critical tool for rapid response. Recent incidents have underscored the importance of integrating airborne assets into layered defense strategies. When a threat emerges with little warning, helicopters can be launched to intercept, track, and, if necessary, neutralize the target before it reaches its objective. This shift in tactics represents a broader trend in naval operations. Static defenses are no longer sufficient, and adaptability is now a core requirement for survival in contested waters. The growing reliance on platforms like the MH-60 Romeo signals a new phase in naval warfare, one where flexibility and rapid response are just as important as firepower and armor. As adversaries continue to innovate, so too must the forces tasked with protecting critical sea lanes. The next step is to examine how the MH-60 Romeo itself has evolved to meet these demands and why it has become an indispensable asset for the U.S. Navy in this new era of conflict. Among the Navy's most relied upon assets, the MH-60 Romeo stands out for its ability to take on a range of critical missions. Designed from the outset as a multi-role platform, the Romeo offers operational flexibility that is essential in today's unpredictable maritime environments. Its core roles, anti-submarine warfare, reconnaissance, and close air support, are only part of the story. What truly distinguishes the Romeo is its rapid adaptation to new threats, particularly the rise of small, agile drones that evade traditional shipboard defenses. Central to the Romeo's effectiveness is its integration of advanced sensor and weapon systems. The AN/APS-153V multi-mode radar, operating in the X-band, provides a significant advantage in detecting and tracking low-profile aerial targets. With the ability to identify objects with radar cross-sections as small as 0.1 square meters, the system excels at picking up drones that might otherwise escape notice. The radar's low probability of intercept mode allows the crew to monitor airspace while minimizing their own electronic signature, a crucial feature in contested regions where revealing one's position could invite further threats. Radar returns are presented on the tactical display, giving the crew immediate access to contact vectors and classification data, which is vital for making rapid threat assessments. Complementing the radar is the AN/ASQ-44 forward-looking infrared FLIR system, which serves as the Romeo's primary thermal imaging suite. The FLIR's ability to detect heat differentials as small as 0.08 degrees Celsius out to 14 nautical miles gives the crew a decisive edge in identifying targets under challenging conditions, such as haze or low visibility. In operational theaters like the waters off Yemen, where heat and glare can obscure visual cues, the FLIR's performance is indispensable. It enables the crew to distinguish between benign and hostile contacts, ensuring that engagement decisions are based on accurate, real-time data. This combination of radar and FLIR allows the Romeo to bridge the gap between electronic detection and visual confirmation, supporting precise and timely responses to fast-moving threats. The GAU 21.50 caliber machine gun forms the backbone of the Romeo's defensive capabilities. Mounted on a flexible pental system, the GAU-21 delivers a sustained rate of fire at 1,100 rounds per minute using a short recoil operating system that ensures both reliability and minimal barrel vibration. Its tight shot dispersion, 2.5 milliradians at 400 meters, translates into a highly concentrated field of fire, which is especially important when engaging small, fast-moving drones. This level of precision allows the door gunner to neutralize threats with a minimal expenditure of ammunition, reducing the need to rely on more costly missile systems. The gun's stable mount and panoramic field of view ensure that the gunner can maintain accuracy even during dynamic maneuvers, maximizing the Romeo's effectiveness in rapidly evolving situations. The recent engagement off the coast of Yemen highlighted the Romeo's ability to integrate sensor data and firepower in a compressed time frame. The helicopter's sensor suite provided early detection and tracking, while the gunner's position and the GAU-21's performance enabled a rapid, controlled response. The entire sequence, from detection to engagement, demonstrated how human skill and advanced technology intersect in high-stakes scenarios. The Romeo's ability to operate at a distance from the ship further extended the destroyer's defensive reach, allowing for a layered response to incoming threats. The evolution of the MH-60 Romeo from a platform focused primarily on anti-submarine warfare to one capable of countering aerial drones is rooted in its modular architecture and adaptable operational doctrine. The integration of advanced sensors and flexible armament has allowed the platform to address emerging threats without sacrificing its core mission set. This adaptability has required updates not only to hardware, but also to crew training and engagement protocols, ensuring that the Romeo remains effective against a spectrum of threats, from submarines to unmanned aerial vehicles. In regions where adversaries have adapted quickly and the pace of engagement leaves little margin for error, the combination of advanced detection systems and precise firepower has made the MH-60 Romeo a linchpin of naval defense. The events off Yemen's coast serve as a clear example of how this platform delivers results under pressure, with each component, from radar to weaponry, playing a critical role in mission success. With these capabilities in place, the stage was set for a confrontation that would test the Romeo's full range of systems and the crew's ability to act under extreme time constraints. The drone appeared as a faint blip on the AN/APS 153V radar, its cross-section measuring just 0.1 square meters, barely enough to trigger an alert in the hazy airspace southwest of Al-Haidia, Yemen. Venom 04, the MH-60 Romeo helicopter, was on a routine patrol 24 nautical miles from the coastline when the alert sounded. The crew, familiar with the area's unpredictable conditions, immediately noted the limited visibility. Dense haze cut the visual range to under 3 miles, complicating threat identification. But the radar contact was clear: an aerial object at 2,200 feet, moving at 270 knots. Too small to be a fighter and too fast for a typical helicopter. The Romeo's tactical operator, drawing on experience with previous regional incursions, quickly recognized the signature as consistent with hostile drones, a persistent threat in this sector. The crew transitioned to a higher state of readiness. The AN/ASQ-44FLIR system, housed in the Romeo's nose turret, was brought online to supplement radar tracking. Despite the warm morning air minimizing thermal contrast, the FLIR's sensitivity, capable of detecting thermal differentials as slight as 0.08 degrees Celsius out to 14 nautical miles, allowed the team to isolate a faint heat bloom against the background. The pilot adjusted altitude and heading, seeking a better sensor angle while positioning the helicopter between the drone and the USS Gravely. The Romeo's movement was deliberate, designed to intercept the drone before it could close the distance to the destroyer. 90 seconds after initial contact, the tactical operator switched the radar to air-to-air mode, refining the track and confirming the drone's direct approach toward the USS Gravely. The object's steady course, altitude, and speed, combined with its erratic lateral movements, suggested automated evasion programming, a hallmark of the Samad 3 model previously documented in Houthi attacks. The crew attempted to query the drone with identification friend or foe protocols. There was no response. With the drone now inside 6 nautical miles and descending rapidly, visual confirmation became possible. The crew identified the airframe as a Samad 3 variant, confirming hostile intent. The Romeo's pilot, maintaining strict adherence to rules of engagement, relayed the situation to the USS Gravely. Gravely, this is Venom 04. Positive ID on hostile Drone 3 profile. Request weapons free. The call sign Venom 04, matching the research narrative, underscored the authenticity of the unfolding action. The response from the destroyer was immediate. Authorization granted. The Romeo shifted into firing position, and the door gunner prepared the GAU 21.50 caliber machine gun, already loaded and primed for action. With the drone now within 3 nautical miles and closing, the pilot warned, "You've got about 10 seconds before it changes aspect." The gunner tracked the target through the haze, compensating for both the drone's speed and the helicopter's constant adjustments. The first burst from the GAU-21 missed by a narrow margin, the round slicing through empty air as the drone shifted course. The tactical operator called out, "Adjust, drift right." The pilot repositioned the Romeo, giving the gunner a more stable firing angle. The second burst struck the drone's fuselage and left wing, shearing the wing away and sending the drone into a violent spiral. Recognizing the risk that a damaged drone might still deliver a payload, the gunner fired a third burst, ensuring complete destruction. The airframe broke apart mid-air, debris scattering and falling harmlessly into the sea. As the crew confirmed the kill, the tactical operator scanned the radar for additional contacts. At extreme range, faint signals appeared, likely fishing boats or possible launch platforms. More notably, an intermittent electronic signature emerged on a new S-band frequency, its modulation pattern distinct from previously encountered Houthi control links. This anomaly suggested the introduction of a new drone variant or updated command systems, highlighting the adversary's ongoing adaptation and the persistence of the threat. The engagement concluded with the Romeo's crew maintaining vigilance, aware that the environment was evolving and that each encounter provided new data for future operations. The destruction of the Samo D-3 drone protected the USS gravely and demonstrated the effectiveness of integrating advanced sensors, disciplined crew coordination, and precise weaponry. Yet the faint electronic echoes in the aftermath served as a reminder that this was not an isolated event, but part of a larger and rapidly changing operational landscape. Rather than a routine engagement, the MH-60 Romeo's takedown of the Houthi drone near Yemen stands as a pivotal example of how naval warfare is shifting in response to new forms of threat. The encounter highlights that adaptability is no longer optional in contested maritime zones, where inexpensive drones can jeopardize high-value assets. The integration of established weaponry, such as the GAU-21 machine gun, with advanced targeting systems like the AN/APS-153 radar and the AN/ALQ-210 electronic support measures suite, demonstrates how the U.S. Navy is fusing traditional and modern capabilities to meet the demands of asymmetric warfare. Drone warfare has rapidly emerged as a defining challenge for navies worldwide. Commercially available drones, modified for military use, provide adversaries with the ability to strike from unexpected directions and evade conventional defenses. These systems are often deployed from hidden locations and guided by sophisticated navigation software, allowing them to approach warships in critical shipping lanes with minimal warning. The threat is not limited to the drone's firepower or payload. The true danger lies in their ability to disrupt operations and force a costly response from defending forces. Even a single drone, if left unchallenged, can inflict significant damage or create operational delays disproportionate to its cost. This reality puts constant pressure on naval planners to innovate, ensuring that defenses remain effective and efficient. The engagement off Yemen serves as a case study in how existing assets can be adapted to counter these challenges. The GAU-21's precision and rate of fire make it well suited for targeting small, agile drones, while the Romeo's sensor suite allows for rapid detection and tracking under difficult conditions. The AN/APS-153 radar identifies low-profile aerial threats, and the AN/ASQ-44 FLIR system provides thermal imaging for visual confirmation. The addition of the AN/ALQ-210 ESM suite, with its passive detection capability across 0.5 to 40 GHz and azimuth accuracy to within 1.5 degrees, expands the helicopter's ability to detect and classify electronic emissions from incoming drones. This multi-layered approach enables crews to respond to threats promptly, even when visibility is limited or electronic countermeasures are in play. Cost efficiency is another critical lesson from this encounter. While the precise figures vary, the general contrast is clear. An adversary can launch a drone for a fraction of the cost required to build or repair a modern destroyer. Relying solely on expensive missile interceptors to counter such threats is unsustainable. By employing machine guns like the GAU-21 for drone defense, the Navy demonstrates a practical approach to resource management, reserving high-end munitions for more advanced or numerous adversaries, while neutralizing low-cost threats with proportionate force. This strategy not only preserves limited resources, but also ensures that the fleet remains ready for a spectrum of possible engagements. Strategically, the successful interception of the Houthi drone sends a clear message to both adversaries and allies. For potential aggressors, it signals that the U.S. Navy is prepared to counter asymmetric tactics with a blend of technology and flexible doctrine. For allies who depend on secure maritime routes, such as those passing through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, these operations reaffirm a commitment to safeguarding international shipping and regional stability. The Navy's ability to adapt established platforms for new missions reinforces its reputation for technological and operational superiority. However, technological adaptation alone is not sufficient. The evolving nature of drone warfare requires a comprehensive approach that incorporates new systems, revised tactics, and updated training regimens. The integration of electronic warfare, passive detection, and rapid response assets like the MH-60 Romeo illustrates how layered defenses are becoming the standard. The AN/ALQ210 ESM suite's passive detection capabilities, for example, allow for early warning and classification of threats before they appear on radar, providing critical reaction time in high-pressure scenarios. Looking forward, the trajectory of drone development and countermeasures is clear. Adversaries will continue to refine their unmanned systems to evade detection and overwhelm defenses, potentially through swarm tactics or by exploiting gaps in current technologies. Naval forces must anticipate these trends, investing in both technological upgrades and the operational flexibility needed to respond to unforeseen challenges. Whether through incremental improvements to existing systems or the adoption of new tools such as directed energy weapons, the imperative is to remain ahead of the threat curve. The engagement near Yemen is a reminder that the future of naval warfare depends on continuous adaptation and integration of new capabilities. The lessons drawn from this event will shape how naval forces prepare for emerging threats and protect vital interests at sea. As the operational landscape evolves, the ability to identify, track, and neutralize threats with speed and precision will define maritime superiority, setting the stage for the next chapter in modern naval strategy. The MH-60 Romeo's precise takedown of the Houthi drone near Yemen was the first confirmed air-to-air kill by a U.S. Navy helicopter, marking a significant milestone in naval operations. This event highlights how platforms like the Romeo, equipped with the GAU-21 machine gun and advanced sensors, are redefining the response to asymmetric threats in contested waters. As adversaries continue to advance their drone capabilities, the need for adaptability and seamless integration of sensor and weapon systems will shape the next generation of naval tactics. Share your thoughts in the comments on how you see drone defense evolving, and subscribe for more in-depth analysis of military technology.